Teepa Snow, and we wanted to talk a little bit about the three of us as authors of the PAC Relationship Guide. Now, it started off with some basic ideas from me, but that would never have been enough to get a book together. Trust me, I don't love to write. What I do like to do is come up with stuff, create things, help people create things. And so I had two partners. I have Christine, who is our Alabama connection, and also our PAC's product development person and production person. And I have Dan Bulgarelli, and he is, a combination of things. One relationship, son-in-law, another relationship, father to two grandchildren, and pretty much a really interesting writer. He likes writing. Christine likes coming up with creative ideas and putting them in words, and Dan likes to wordsmith. I like to come up with stuff and then comment on stuff people come up with. So our relationship is, I come up with some ideas, Christine adds ideas, creates something we can work with. Dan refines ideas, gets us to think about our ideas, change our ideas possibly. And then I do some more editing. Just when they think they've got something, I go back and try to change it again. The relationship guide, started off as one thing, and it really developed into something not entirely different, but something different. It went well beyond where we started. Because as usual in PAC, we started with what we know, and we know pretty well, which is brain change and the word dementia. But before we knew it, wow, figure it out. We're talking about relationships no matter when, no matter where, no matter who. And that who might involve a woof woof or a meow or something different. Because it turns out relationships are what we do with the world around us, people around us, the animals around us, the places around us, the things around us. So I'm going to quit talking because I've shared a little of my idea, and I'm going to let Christine jump in next and give a little of her story of being one of the three creators of this guide.
So as we were putting this relationship guide together, we were talking about the huge variety of relationships. Some are super easy. Some just seem to come natural. Some are extremely, extremely hard. And quite frankly, are there some relationships that you've had in your life that you just don't really care if they get better or not, but maybe you feel stuck in them? Like something has to happen. You can't get out of it. And so we wanted to make this relationship guide really, really wide so that it could encompass a lot of different types of relationships. And it has, and it does.
Oh, but it had to be practical.
Very practical and real, so that somebody could read it and try even just one thing. Try it and do it. A tip, a takeaway, something practical.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Christine was really the one that came up with the concept of what the thing should be, taking the ideas. But then it really took Dan's expertise at crafting words and his history piece and his like of storytelling kinds of things. So Dan, your piece of this puzzle.
I was kind of brought in as a take a look at it, and then I just got too excited about it. And so I had a lot of ideas and a lot of fun. And so when I was brought in, as Teepa mentioned, I'm the son-in-law. I met the woman that is now my wife, and I had no idea who Teepa Snow was. I think one of the best parts about the relationship between each of us and all three of us is everyone is excited about new ideas. And while I may pull the reins on some things because change isn't quite as exciting for me as it is for others, I do get excited when a new idea or a fun idea allows me to become inspired. And I've noticed that's the biggest thing that I get out of working with these two is inspiration. It's letting me, allowing me, and pushing me to think about things in ways I've never thought about things. And I love it. One of the best things about working with Teepa is when not only learning about the gems in relation to dementia, but when she broadened it to be gems for all of us as we're all going through brain change, it allowed me to learn a lot about myself and my relationships, not just with my wife, not just with now my kids, but family, friends, coworkers, everyone. What is it that I'm expecting versus what is it I'm bringing and giving and adapting?
And yet, believe it or not, that's what we're doing. And that's what we did for the creation of the guide. It was all about work and how we worked together. And I think sometimes it's easy to get into a place where we think relationships are what we do at home and work is work. And in fact, same story there. So let's take a look at it that way.
So really what you're saying is people are people, no matter.
We tend to have a work self, home self, an intimate self, a public self. And so those different, how we present ourselves in those different settings, that's part of who we choose to be and how we want to present. So at work, I may be a certain way that I'm not classically when I'm on my own at home, or even when I'm with my family at home, or even when I'm with a faith community. So keeping in mind that relationships are often, to some extent, guided by where we are and who we're with, but it's still a relationship. Yeah, so in this relationship development of this guide, how many times did I pull the boss card? Get real diamond and say, this is the way I want us to do this. This is the way we're going to do this because this is my book.
I don't think of you that way. I don't
Okay.
know that you ever did that.
Do you not think of her that way, or did she not do that for this book? Those can be two different answers.
In my recollection, she did not do this for this book. Did I miss it?
I only say that because that's what the goal of the company is people aren't afraid of Teepa because she's the boss. They can recognize diamond moments. They can recognize when she has a strong feeling, but all too often people defer instead of out of fear. And I think one of the best parts about you coming on is that you match creativity instead of just saying, okay, yeah, whatever. Just tell me what to do. And you'll do that at certain points because that's your job, is to get things done. It's not that, but I think, as I said, like to watch both of you or to work with both of you, it really is inspiring. And I think you take the inspiration and run with it, but you also ask questions to try to get to what is Teepa's vision, even if you're not getting the words at that moment. What is her overall vision? And then you can present it as such, versus other people just want to be told, okay, give me the checklist of what you want and just put it there. And I think that, and Teepa, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that can make Teepa go diamond, because I think she wants more of what you're doing. You have a vision too, and you're blending the visions. And I think that's been a great working relationship.
Yeah. And so, I mean, an example of what I think worked well for me was that I said, when we were looking at the examples of the different gem states, and I commented, wow, these seem like they're sort of negative examples sometimes. And I said, I wonder what would happen if you did it more like this. What you did is, but it wasn't sure, if that's what you want to do. I thought my example was fine. I mean, there wasn't anything wrong with the example, but it was an example of what we would see when a diamond was in distress or unhappy, not what a diamond would do that gives, that's a strength of that diamond, is like, so I usually brush my teeth this morning at first so that I don't have to really think about it. So do you mind if I brush my teeth first? It's like, oh, no. Because you gave me the reason, and I'm a logical, reasonable person. So if you tell me why it is you want to brush your teeth first before we do this other thing, why would I be upset about it? What you're giving me is information that helps me then be helpful and allows me to realize, wow, you like routine a lot. And so things that you routinely do have to happen, or your ability to focus on what I'm wanting you to do, which is different, is not going to go as well.
It always comes up in my mind about respect. Seeing a person as who they are, respecting them for who they are, and connecting, and not forcing me on them, but joining them and connecting with them.
Yeah. So connecting. So clearly, Christina is a connector. And I'm a bit of a controller. And then Dan, for you, what do you think?
I don't know. It's always hard for me to come up with stuff for myself. I don't know. I'm still stuck on the routines because I like not only routines and rituals, I need rules. And then once I know the rules, I can work within them. I am so much a creature of habit and routines and rules. And Teepa's learned, like, dinner's got to be done by a certain time because she knows if I want dessert, it's got to be before 7 o'clock. I do not eat after 7 o'clock anymore. And it's just.
So that's that diamond thing. So that diamond thing. And so Dan needs rules so he can be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if there's a rule, how far can I bend it before it breaks? And is it a legit rule, or is it just one somebody made up for some stupid reason? I mean, is there a good reason for the rule, or is it I am much more, let me pick it apart and see, is it legit or not? And Dan is like, the rule is the rule. Why are you arguing with the rule? And so this is that at work, this would be that complex, our working relationship is like, okay, so Dan, I need you to be really flexible about this. And if I say, I need you to be flexible about this, the position that I have in certain situations would give me that authority so that I can make the rule. And if the rule is the rule, then Dan knows the rule. As long as I adhere to the rules, then we're okay. But if I go changing the rule, that can create a sense of that's not how you should do that. And that's where we have to be careful with one another. Whereas Christine and I, our limit is we got to cut ourselves off because we'll have 20 products we'd love to do, too many things to get done and too little time to get it done in. Because we can go all over the place and get excited, but then we have to rein it back in. And that control for me has to be an internal control. And it's hard for me because it's like, oh, those are all great options. Which ones can we do right now? And it's like, letting go of things, that's hard. That's hard because it seemed like, they were so good. And so that's the tricky part about work. These work relationships, they're relationships, and the respect we have for one another lets us work together, even when sometimes it's like creative differences, but we figure it out. And that's sort of what we've decided is important. And we think is important in all work relationships. If you decide to work it out, or it's not a working relationship, that's our message is the relationship guide isn't just for families and your intimates. It's for all relationships, truly all relationships, including the ones at work, including virtual relationships, which is what we're having right now, quite honestly. And we've learned a lot over this last year. So relationship guide, work-related relationships. Being human, it's still all about relationships. So we hope you find something of value. We are thinking you might. And if you are curious and want to learn more, check it out. And if you want to talk with someone, we can do that. If you want to read or communicate in writing with someone, we can do that. If you want to just look at something, I bet we can figure out how to do that too. But whatever you like, want, or need, if you're interested in making it the best it can possibly be at work, at home, or in your life, consider checking out our relationship guidance, see what it offers. You might just find something that makes a difference.